Somebody sees a lot of potential between the two of you in this situation. This is somebody that is very aware of where you're at presently with one another. And I'm hearing I'm not stopping here. So this is somebody that it feels like is very determined to convince you that they are the best option for you in terms of, like a long-term partnership. This person may be aware that you have other options, or they're just assuming that you have other options. Their kind of like strategy or game plan is not to kind of like lead with an ego and just figure that, they're the only name on your dance card at this particular point in time, but to instead harness that healthy ego and like, I don't see other options for you. There is no competition. There is only me. There's only you, and there is only us. So this is somebody it feels like that is going to be very proactive, very creative with the ways in which they sort of demonstrate that to you. If you are, maybe kind of leaning into sort of a mindset of like, okay, I've been with people and I felt potential before, and then they kind of dropped the ball, or I ended up doing all the heavy lifting. And, you're kind of like, I need to exercise healthy boundaries. I need to sort of like protect my heart, protect my own interests. This person is like picking up on that in some sort of way, where it's like a wall's gone up within you, or you might be kind of like backing up into yourself, almost like, don't get ahead of yourself, don't open up emotionally too quickly, like give this person time to sort of prove their intentions, or prove that they have follow through to promises that they make or interests that they've expressed in you. Like this person is picking up on that, those subtle cues and those subtle indicators, and there's a sense of like wanting to grip onto this connection more tightly, wanting to pull you in closer. Like they are not recoiling or turned off by the fact that you're sort of like, yeah, I gotta think of me first and foremost. I'm not gonna end up in another one of those situations where I'm just chasing somebody's shadow, or I'm chasing my own tail, and I'm the only one that is kind of invested or interested in building towards the future. Like this is somebody that is like, yeah, don't worry, I've got you. Don't worry if you're having questions, you're having hesitations. Give me the opportunity to really step up to the plate and show to you and prove to you that it's like, it's almost somebody, it's like, and I'm hearing, I like a challenge. So something where it's kind of like you're not making it easy to kind of like get to know you, or to ascend to this next level in your connection with one another. But this person is like, they like that. They like the fact that it's going to take work in order to like get you to open up fully or to trust. They like the fact that there's like, they have to prove themselves. This is something where they're looking at the idea of like love and affection and partnership with you. It's not just coming easy, so it's going to be something worthwhile, because they're going to have to put in that effort. This is something that it feels like has really activated almost like a competitive energy within them, not only to sort of like outperform other potential suitors that you may have, but also to kind of outperform wounds that you may have, fears that you may have, that this circumstance is going to end up like others. It's going to be like you get your hopes up only to be let down. This is somebody that's like, great, okay, so I've got that to work with. Cool, there's a place to like pivot beyond. There's something more that I can show you that not only makes me kind of like the right choice, the right person for you, the right man for the job, but that this is also a circumstance where I can silence those wounds of the past by, kind of operating along that plane of assumption, or, kind of like what you're showing, what you're putting forward, that you've been hurt in love before, you've been let down, you've been disappointed. So there's a lot to work with in terms of ways that this person feels like, I can satisfy certain needs that others had taken for granted. I can fulfill you in certain ways that helps to prove like I'm really invested in this in the ways that others wouldn't think to do, or something where it's even like kind of emotional wreckage or emotional damage that you've had to heal on your own, that might have made you kind of like guarded, or discerning as far as like who you're opening up to, who you're letting into your life. This person sees that as something that like, okay, now I've got this horizon to kind of navigate towards, where let me prove to you that I'm different from other people. Let me prove to you I'm nothing like the others that you have known, or that have like awakened something within you emotionally and just kind of like left you stranded in love all alone. So we have, you shook up my life in the best possible way. So you've definitely like activated this person's heart space. They are feeling a lot for you at this point in time. And it's kind of like the thrill of the chase at this point. So if you're the one that is kind of like, okay, I've given up to a certain point in this connection, and now I'm going to be at a standstill and sort of see, what do you have to bring to the table? What are you going to offer in this situation? You're very mindful of kind of where you might have gone wrong in previous situations, and you're trying a different approach. That this is something which is kind of like cluing this person into, this is sort of the time for them to implement some kind of strategy with you. Something that's kind of like, okay, it might be delicate territory that you're in with one another. They got to prove themselves, not with sort of like putting that pressure on, although it feels like they do want to be very proactive and lean into this. But there's almost a sense of like, okay, what you're showing me, what I'm sensing, what I'm picking up on, what I'm reading in your vibe or in the nature of our interactions at this point is you need consistency with me. You need me to show up every day, just a little, to keep kind of like knocking at that door. Even if you're sort of like hesitant to, kind of invite me in fully, then I need to be somebody that is kind of showing you like, yeah, I'm here in the ups, I'm here in the downs, I'm here with all of it. That I'm somebody who is wanting to go that distance, not just when, you make it easy on me or it's kind of like things are really going well, but that this is an opportunity, to really show you that I'm someone who's truly interested in getting to know you. I'm not going to be judging you based on wounds of the past. I'm not going to be judging you based on kind of like, you've tried to sort of heal from heartbreak, but almost like you don't have to be fully healed in order to be worthy of love. You don't have to totally love yourself in order to experience that from another person. This is somebody that really wants to like pour into your cup as it is right now. They see perfection within the energy of like a work in progress that they see within you. They're not judging you based on that hesitation, but it's an invitation almost to them, sort of like, oh, we've reached a place within our dynamic or something within you has been triggered where I need to pour more of my love into this. I don't need to take this as kind of like, a sign that like, ooh, this is difficult, or, you're extra, like you're high maintenance, this is too much. But this is somebody that's almost, okay, I need to increase what it is that I'm giving to you, the time, the care, the attention, the reassurances, the consistency. We also have, you see beneath my masks to the real me. So they definitely feel like you are someone that they want to also invite closer into their reality, to get to know the real them. This generosity as far as showing up, as far as giving you the benefit of the doubt, checking their own ego at the door and making sure that they're not kind of like taking it personally if you're a little bit hesitant. You're scared to be hurt. You're kind of like mindful of like, I don't want to end up in the same pattern that it took so long to get out of. I don't want to end up in the same sort of situation that I needed to heal from before with another person. So this individual has definitely noticed something has shifted within you. That it's kind of like it's a little more difficult to connect. You're maybe not opening up as much, or something that had been kind of, a lot of sort of effort or free flowing energy on your part. There's a little more of like, okay, you got to bring something else to the table. We need to experience something more here, or I love myself enough, or, I'm kind of self-aware enough to be like, okay, I don't want to sort of loop back into old patterns or kind of like habits that just ended in brokenness before. This is somebody that has a lot of compassion for whatever it is that you've been through, in love or in life, that might have created this kind of woundedness or guardedness. This is somebody that doesn't want to pry. They don't want to like jump to conclusions or, kind of assume anything. But there is a sense of kind of like, ooh, we've entered this territory where maybe it's like we've gotten very close, or things are, like the intimacy is increasing, or, we're like on the brink of taking the next step. And it's like they can feel that you're faltering. They can feel you kind of getting scared and sort of closing off into yourself. And this is again kind of like awakened an instinct within them of just kind of like, let me show more of myself, let me show more of my heart, let me kind of step up and sort of increase what it is that I'm putting down in the situation up to now, like what I've kind of been giving to this. Let me do more, let me kind of be more authentic, so that you see like I'm not going to run off in the other direction if things are difficult. And if you're scared and you're hesitant, then that's an invitation for me to try to create more of a sense of comfort, more of a sense of safety, more of a sense of acceptance, more of like an open space where, you can open up to me, you can lean into this. You can feel free to kind of have your own process of working through those triggers, those insecurities, those fears, any kind of skepticism that might have come up at this point in time, anything like unrelated to this connection that may be kind of affecting how you're showing up in it. It's like this person is trying to take that higher perspective and sort of like, I'm not going to take that personally if you've shifted on me. I'm going to change the way that I'm moving too. Not like I'm going to match your energy and back off, or, kind of match cold for cold, but there's a sense of almost like you're kind of stuck, you're still, you're like standing in place, so let me give you something that will allow you to like warm up to this situation. Let me come in closer and embrace you until you feel that it's okay to kind of get back into the harmony and into the motion that we have with one another. We also have, when I'm with you, everything seems possible. Yeah, so this is somebody that does feel very deeply fulfilled by you. They love your conversations. They love the playful banter back and forth. They love the way that you make them feel inside. They like how they are getting to know you, that they're getting to discover you. They love these different layers about you. They love your contradictions. This is somebody that doesn't want you to feel like you just have to be one way, or you have to show up, as kind of like this perfect version of yourself. They're like, I'll take the messiness. I'll take kind of the aspects of you that are half healed, or, things that you're like, it's just too painful. I can't look at that. I just want to avoid that part of myself. They're like, cool. Okay. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to go there. Let's focus on, what you do like, what you do kind of want. Let's focus on these energies where, we're not kind of like running from the difficulty, but if you need to lean into just the good vibes only for a minute, we can do that as well. This is somebody that feels like your intensity matches something inside of them, like an intensity, like a ferocity of self-love even, or ways in which you have expressed like your passion or your authenticity or your personality to them at this point. It's like, this is everything that I was looking for. It equates with something inside of me to where it's like, I feel balance. I feel like this is genuine. This is real. Like, you're being real with me. These feelings are real. I can trust in this. I can trust in this urge to like step up to the plate, because I can sense something is off within you. I can sense that you're feeling insecure. I can sense that you need some sort of added reassurance at this point. So for a lot of you, this is somebody that's gonna, they're gonna do something very sweet. They're gonna, kind of change the tone or the tempo of how it is they're interacting with you, that will let you know it's not kind of like, they're going to react to anything, or sort of like if something's off with you, then they're going to punish you for that. But it's almost like you're going to see a softer side of this person, where they're really like wanting to hold space for you to come to this place, this realization within yourself that like, yeah, even these kind of difficult moments are okay between the two of us. Like, I don't need you to always just be kind of like smiling and all put together. But if there's times where you're having these like worries or concerns or insecurities, like, I'm here for you in that as well. We also have, my heart will always belong to you. So this is somebody that feels like that really does not want to be the type of person that you have to like heal from. This is somebody that is like, okay, if there's long-term potential between the two of us, I will do everything that I can to like evolve alongside you and your changing needs emotionally and actually, because I know you do the same thing for me. I feel we're very well matched, or we have an understanding with one another about the importance of that. But if you decide at a certain point in time that, your best interests are served elsewhere, or if I get to that point and it's like, I'm just not into this anymore, I don't want to do you raw or dirty like the way that other people have done. I don't want to leave you with questions. I don't want to leave you with uncertainty. I don't just want to pull the rug out from under you. It feels like communication is very important for this person. So they may be getting ready to like open up about feelings, like even talking about insecurities or difficult feelings. It's like, let's just get this all out on the table, so that we don't kind of like leave each other worse for wear. We don't kind of like get a cycle started of like codependency or toxicity or, feeling that we can't really be honest and vulnerable with one another. This person really values that authenticity. They've had connections in the past where people just kind of like wore a mask, or, it only worked when times were good, and they saw kind of the toll that that took on another person, on themselves. So whatever happens in a long-term sense in the situation, this is somebody that's like, I want to create a good impression upon you. I want to be a good memory. If we part ways someday, I don't want to be somebody that you regret letting into your life. I don't want to be the kind of person that you have to heal from. I don't want to be the kind of person that makes you question if you are worthy of love, if you're deserving of love. I don't want to be that guy that makes you keep love at a distance because I mishandled the blessing of you and fumbled you totally. We also have you inspire me. So this person sees that you have like this light inside of you that they might not know all the details of, but that they know that it is the product of having to like be strong through really difficult circumstances, really heartbreaking circumstances. They see you as someone like, especially if they don't have all the details of like your past or things that you've been through, or they've just had little hints and indicators. It's like the fact that you're showing up at this time in your life in this way with them, and you're open, you're present, you're kind of like going with the flow as best as you can. You're honoring the parts of yourself that might even at times be kind of like hesitant, or sort of like, I need to put the brakes on so that I don't end up in the same kind of messed up situation that I was in before, or kind of like back in an old pattern. Whatever that is, or whatever that has been for you, there's a sense that this person sees like you've been through a lot, or you've had to like sew up a lot of your own wounds. Like you probably have been taken for granted, or just really taken for a ride by people, in the past, or just really like done dirty emotionally, and so the fact that you are still open-hearted, you're not just like closed off and pessimistic and taking this like love sucks kind of outlook. You're not like taking out that pain on other people. That this person sees that as something that is very admirable. They see it as like a treasured quality about you, that it's kind of like, I want to love you in all the ways that people before me didn't or couldn't. I want to be an experience for you that lets you know, like, yeah, whatever you've needed to do to kind of move beyond unfair or hurtful or very damaging situations in the past, that I don't see the byproduct of that wreckage. I don't look at you and feel that you're damaged goods. I don't look at you and see someone that's a liability. I don't see someone that's hard to love. I see someone that is incredibly strong, that deserves the world, and that it's a shame that nobody has like given that to you before. This is somebody that it feels like they feel very mad, like when they think about whatever you must have been through before, that it's almost like they want to hold you close and treat your energy like something very precious, and that whoever has mishandled you or your emotions or your heart before, it's like that person's public enemy number one. That person is not kind of anyone I would be fond of, anyone I would have anything to do with. Like that's like a bad person in my book. And so this is something where this individual is kind of like there's a ferocity to them that it feels like has been activated, where it's like, I really want to show you a different experience of love, because I feel like you've never been appreciated, you've never been loved right, or maybe, since something or a series of somethings have happened, like you're brave for kind of like letting me in, taking a chance on this, showing up as you are at this point. But you need someone to pour into you in a beautiful way. You need to make beautiful memories with someone. You've done an excellent job of like healing on your own, but this is almost somebody that feels like, I feel that I'm in your life at this point to show you something different, to show you that love doesn't hurt, or, opening up and letting people in, that it's not just going to end up in sort of like loss. We also have your sensuality is so alluring. So they find you to be just this very like yummy presence. Everything about you is very stimulating to this person, like mind, body, and soul. There's an urge to hold your hand, to hold you, to touch you, to like bury their face in your hair and just like inhale you. Everything within them responds to you. Eye contact between the two of you, it feels like it opens up these worlds inside of them where it's just like I could see myself aligning with you and time disappears. This is definitely somebody, it feels like that themselves is a very like a very sentimental person, a very sensitive person, a very emotional person, and there's something within you that just kind of it fits this quality of them. Also because there's this energy with them of like you need someone to pour into you the right way. You need a beautiful experience in love to offset anything that has been very painful or very damaging to you. And so the urge within them, the instinct, what feels most natural is not to try to manipulate, not to try to play games, not to try and kind of like weasel their way in or, sell you on a version of themselves that isn't true. It's kind of like, I want to be real with you. I want to give to you in a way that, if you have any questions about your value and worth, that those are out the window. If you kind of wonder like the things that I've been through before and where trust may be very difficult, or, I've got certain boundaries or certain things that I don't want to kind of do. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to visit those chapters or those memories, that like that's honored as well. Anything where you're kind of like hesitant or where it's going to take some time, almost like a healing exchange between the two of you. Something where you can like make this healing energy, this healing light together, more than just like making love. It's like making healing energy with one another. This is somebody that is like, yeah, that feels right. That feels like an experience that is supposed to happen or can happen between the two of us. And this is somebody also that feels very healed in your presence. They stop looking at their woundedness. They stop leaning into those triggers. They stop feeling that it's kind of like, okay, I got to always have these walls and barriers up because I don't want to be hurt again. This is almost somebody that's like, let me scale over those walls and come towards you because I don't want to push you away or keep you at arm's length. I don't want to make you feel like it's an impossible task to reach me or to get through to me. So this is somebody that even if they kind of like they have like a fortress around their heart, they're like lowering the drawbridge and sort of signaling to you like, come inside, come into the shelter, come into my arms. Yeah, we also have you're so much stronger than I am. So again, this person does not see damaged goods when they look at you. They do not see somebody that is kind of like, last picked on the team. They see the pick of the litter. They see somebody that is like, you're an exquisite human being. You're a radiant person. Whatever you've been through in the past, like your glow up is phenomenal compared to whatever might have happened, wherever you might have been. Maybe they have some awareness of that. It's like, wow, you really you have overcome some amazing things. Like those circumstances in the past might have knocked you down, but it didn't break you. And so now that I'm here, now that this circumstance is happening, let me pull you in closer and kind of kiss those wounds better, kind of kiss those scars and let you know that I find them beautiful. If this is somebody that doesn't know about the things you've been through, they can just kind of see that. You can see that glimmer in your eye that's like, yeah, you had to like put your pieces back together. There's an aspect within you that is open, is like receptive to them, but the level of the way in which you protect yourself or you protect your heart, it's like that doesn't come from there like not being a cost for it. Like your level of self-respect at this point, it's like, yeah, you earned that. You had to earn those stripes. You had to like forge this version of yourself. And so they have a lot of respect for that. This is somebody that doesn't want to like force you to tell them anything you're not comfortable with telling them. They don't want to make you do anything you don't want to do. This is somebody that's kind of like, I just want this to be kind of easy and on your terms at this point. Like, where do we go? What's next? What happens? And if, again, you're sort of like I need some proof. I need some reassurances. I need you to step up to the plate. I need you to give more in this situation because I'm fearful of overgiving, or, it's maybe been part of your kind of like healing, experiences. I need to make sure that I'm with people who can, give 80% when I can only give 20, and it's not just me kind of like putting in all the effort. This is somebody that is like they're responding to that. That is registered with them. As this is not an effort on your part to push them away or play hard to get, or that you're not somebody that's just going to be like super demanding and like, just give me. I think that you should be just kind of like begging to be with me. Like, they see you as someone with self-respect, but you're also not kind of like, oh, I'm just this like better than everybody, and you got to earn the right constantly to be in my life, and you got to keep proving and keep showing up. But they see that there's like, you've reached kind of a level with one another in this connection where it's like, yeah, you need some more reassurances at this point, and I would be more than happy to do that. They also say your touch is electric. So yeah, you've definitely sparked and motivated this person to want to go the distance in this circumstance. This is somebody that wants to feed the flame between the two of you. They don't want to like miss out on a single moment with you. This is somebody that wants to show you like they are very adaptable. There are different ways in which they can show up in a generous energy, generous with their time, generous with their patience, generous with their compliments, generous with their affection, generous even with their silence, if that's what you need at this particular point in time. That it's kind of like, where are we going next in this situation? They feel very connected to you on a soul level. It feels right to love you. You also have your mind excites me. So again, this is somebody that is like, they love the idea of kind of the perspective, the fantasy, the belief, something you're working towards with one another of like, yeah, there's a future here. Yeah, this is worth it. Yeah, there's long-term potential here. But even if it's something where it's kind of like you part ways one day, it's like, I want you to think fondly of me. I want you to, think of this as a beautiful experience with one another. So this is somebody that feels like that's being very mindful at this particular point in time, and wanting to do that sort of going forward, mindful of the experience that they create with you, mindful of any kind of like triggers or wounds that they may be sort of touching upon or that have come up already. It's sort of like, I don't want to add to your distress. I don't want to bring chaos to your doorstep. I want to bring peace. I want to bring the energy of harmony. I want to help to kind of enliven this situation, so that kind of like what I present, what I tell you about myself, that it matches up with sort of the real world experience that I'm giving to you. We also have, you are so kind, sweet, and accepting. Yeah, so this is definitely somebody that feels like you are easy to love. Loving you is like a treat. It's like a privilege. This is somebody that, loves doting on you. They love showing that affection. They love the fact that you are like needing some kind of softness, some kind of tenderness, some kind of sweetness, maybe even just like hugs, kisses, cuddling. You need more of that at this particular point in time, as you are going through something personally, or, something as far as like, okay, here's a threshold that like something's been triggered, there's like a boundary, and the only way to get over that is softly to kind of go beyond that. This is somebody that's like, yeah, let me pull you closer, let me rise to the occasion and show you that I'm not going to be easily sort of dissuaded when times are difficult and times are tough. I want you to see me as kind of like the only option, the best person for you, not just because I can show you a good time and we're having a lot of laughs and everything's really excellent, but also in the ways in which I can be that kind of soft landing place for you. I can be that tender person for you. I can be that sort of like highly romantic individual, even just behind closed doors, even when it's just the two of you, something where it's almost like they want to anticipate and sort of kiss your wounds until you feel that that is almost like those places are filled with light. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.